Hi guys, it's Elena from Financial Demics, where I give you the tips and tools to manage your money, increase your savings and your income, and decrease your debt. And today I'm going to share with you what you would need to do if you were trying to pay off debt, but you have a limited or a low income. There are a lot of people out there who feel like they are always going to be in the continuous cycle of having debt because they do not make a lot of money, so they're not sure how to dig themselves out of debt. But I'm here to tell you that it can be done. The first thing that I would need you to do is to track where your money is going, and then you would need to create a budget. The reason why I want you to track where your money is going is because a lot of times, because we are in the cycle of just waking up, going to work or going to school, taking care of the kids, whatever it is, you're not really tracking how you're actually spending your money. And you may have money that is available to put towards paying off your debt. Once you have an idea of where you are actually spending your money, from there you should be able to create a budget or a spending plan. If you do not know how to create a budget or a spending plan, be sure to check out my video on how to create a quick spending plan and my video on how to create a zero-based budget. Both of those videos will be linked below, and you'll also be able to download my free budget template to help you get started. Before you actually start paying off your debt, the first thing that you should fund is a starter emergency fund. Starter emergency fund should be at least 1 month of your actual expenses, because while you're paying off debt, life still happens. Things may come up and you may have to pay for them, and you may have to stop paying off debt to cover this cost really quickly. So actually having some money set aside will actually give you a little bit of buffer just in case something happens while you're paying off debt. If you're not sure how to set up a starter emergency fund, then check out my video on why you need a starter emergency fund before paying off debt, which I will link below, where I go more in depth about how much it should be and where to actually save it. Now, keep in mind that when you are paying off debt, you can always start small. People don't feel like they can make a dent when you are starting small, but you can. Typically, when you are paying off, say, a credit card or even your student loan or your car, the payment goes towards your interest first. And then anything over the interest amount that has accrued goes towards your principal on your actual loan. And if you're not sure if that's working in your case, you can always contact your creditor who you have an account with, and they will be able to explain it to you. But in the case of paying off a credit card, paying an extra $5, $10, $20 each time that you are actually making a payment will put more money towards your principal, which will actually decrease the amount of interest that you will have to pay, but also get you to the point where you are making a dent in that principal balance so that you are able to pay off the debt faster than you would if you were just making the minimal payment. So when it comes to paying off your debt, the main thing that you need to think of is reducing your expenses and increasing your income. So we're going to start with reducing your expenses, because I am big on figuring out what we can do inside first, and then we'll go to increasing your income. The reason why I wanted you to track your spending and come up with a budget, because now you have an idea of everything that you're actually spending money on. I'm always a big fan of cutting out larger expenses first. I know people look at smaller expenses, but I like to see how can I reduce my larger expenses, because that's where most of the money is leaving my account. So when it comes to your housing, is there any way that you can switch up either maybe where you live? And I know this is not possible for everyone, but it is something you can look into. Or maybe you can bring in a roommate. That's an option also. Paying a reduced amount of rent can help give you more money to actually paying off your debt. And when it comes to roommates, I know people always think of strangers, but I mean, maybe it's just a family member or a friend, even though, you know, everybody don't want to live with friends. But if it's going to help you get closer to your goal of paying off your debt, that is an option you should look into, so that you are able to actually pay off your debt quickly. And look, do not look past going back home. Do not let anyone tell you that you cannot go back home, okay? Or make fun of you for going back home. If your parents are allowing you to move in, pay maybe a lower rent than what you would pay living by yourself, and you could put some of your stuff in storage, then that's an option too, so that you're able to get to where you really want to go. Sometimes you have to take that step back to move forward. Another thing that you can look into is reducing your insurance costs. This is one of the things I'm always looking to reduce if I can. And I'm not just talking about your car insurance. Maybe you can also look into your homeowners or your renter's insurance, or if you even have life insurance. Those are things you can look into other companies, see if you can get the same coverages that you have for cheaper. So that's another thing that you can look into. I know some people talk about possibly looking into cheaper health insurance. And as far as I know, when it comes to health insurance, if you're getting it through your job, then you really can't control how much you pay in that aspect. And when you make changes, that can only happen around the enrollment season. And if I'm not mistaken, with the Affordable Healthcare Act, that is very similar. Also, what you can do is see if you're able to adjust for the price of insurance earlier. Like maybe you could try to save some money so that you can maybe go with a high deductible savings account instead of going with a plan with a copay that may have a higher premium. If you look at your cable bill, that is typically one of the higher costs that you pay for when it comes to your household expenses. Look and see if you can actually reduce your bill or either cut out your cable altogether while you're trying to pay off debt. That is money that you can take and actually divert each month towards paying off your debt so that you're able to pay it off faster. You should also look into reducing your cell phone plan. Maybe you don't need an unlimited plan. If you look at your plan, maybe that's not the best plan for you. Maybe there is another carrier, if you're not in a contract or anything, that is cheaper. I actually know of a friend who saved about $200 a month from just switching from one cell phone company to another. And that is been significantly helpful for them because they are actually able to put more money towards paying down their debt. Also, don't look past on trying to reduce your electric bill or your gas bill in the winter if you have natural gas. When I was paying off my debt, I was really focused, like those lights need to be turned off because we are not trying to continue giving money to the power company. And the gas, we was a little cold. It's just what it is. I had my gas set on 70. You better put on a hoodie, a jacket, or something. So don't look past that either. Find ways that you can cut expenses just by looking at your regular household bills. And granted, it may not be a lot, but it can be helpful. And if you do not have a programmable thermostat, don't look past that either. That actually helped tremendously when it came to my expenses and being able to reduce them so that I could put more money towards that. When it comes to buying food, definitely look into your grocery budget and eating out. Are there things that you buy that you typically end up throwing away because you're not really eating them? Or are there things in your pantry that has been there forever that you can actually cook instead of continually to buy the same thing over and over again and not eat it? So look at those things also. Also, don't look into looking at shopping at places like Aldi if you have that grocery store in your area, or any other low-cost grocery stores. Don't look past them either. There are some things that you really don't have to buy the name brand for. Now, I do know there's some things you need to buy the name brand because the off brand don't taste good. But there are some things you can buy generic and it still tastes the same. So don't even look past looking at some of the generic items that you can purchase. And a lot of times, well, not a lot. Sometimes the generic items taste better than the name brand item. So don't turn your nose up to some of the generic items. And then when it comes to eating out, if you are eating out a lot, then you need to make an effort to reduce the amount of times that you are eating out. If you're not eating out a lot, then keep that same energy and do not start eating out on your debt payoff journey. And if we're not eating out, then we're not shopping. And I'm not talking about for your needs. You still got to buy your needs. But for things that are wants, I definitely think that you still should have some fun money to the side. I talk about fun money a lot on this channel. And basically, fun money is money that you're allowed to do anything you want with. So make sure you do have some fun money allotted, but do not spend a lot of money on just shopping that are outside of your fun money allotment. You want to make sure that you are being really focused on where your money is going and knocking out that debt. Cut out the subscriptions and the memberships. So if you have any subscriptions, evaluate them and see if you're really using them. You can do this by looking at your bank statement or your credit card statement, wherever you have these charges going to, and actually see, am I using these subscriptions? Same thing with your memberships. If you have a gym membership and you're not going to the gym, let it go. You're wasting your money. And there's a lot of channels actually right here on YouTube that you can actually work out to right in the privacy of your own home, and that's for free. And so if you're not using your gym memberships, let them go. If you have other memberships that you're not using, let them go also. And if you just don't have time to sit down and actually look into what memberships you're not using, then you can look into a service like Trim. Trim is a service that will evaluate all of your reoccurring charges in your bank account and actually notify you of charges that you are receiving that are reoccurring that you can possibly cancel. And they will also try to negotiate for you if you authorize them to reduce either like your cable bill, any cell phone plans, anything like that. Trim will also negotiate for you to help you either lower your cell phone bill, lower your cable bill, or even decrease the cost of your internet if that's separate from your actual cable bill. It will even shop around for auto and home insurance for you if you're looking to reduce that cost. Now, this is for a fee. What they do is they usually would take a certain percentage of what they actually help you save. But if you are looking to learn more about Trim and you want to sign up for their services, I will have a link down below. The link is an affiliate link. It will not cost you more for clicking on the link, but it will help support the channel and Financial Demics, but it will give a commission which will help me grow. You can also look at your bank and see if there are fees that you are being charged by your bank. And if so, then you can look into credit unions and you can look into accounts that do not charge you fees for having a bank account with them. All right, so let's talk about increasing your income. After cutting your expenses, the best way to get out of debt if you're not making a lot of money is to make more money to put towards your debt. So the first thing that you should actually look into is if you can actually work overtime at your job. If your job offers overtime hours, then go ahead and take advantage of those hours. Make sure you're tracking how many hours you're actually working though, so that you're actually putting that money towards your debt and not spending it on other things. The next thing that you can do is look into getting a part-time job. Now, with a part-time job, maybe it'll actually be something that you actually enjoy, or just something that you can do in your spare time to bring in extra money so that you can put that directly towards your debt. One of the best tips that I can give you is that when I had a part-time job while paying off my debt, I actually had the money that came from my part-time job deposited into a separate bank account that I used to pay off my debt, so that it was not intermingled with the money that I got from my full-time job. It just helped me stay more disciplined in putting that money towards my debt and not necessarily going to spend it on something that I didn't need. One of my favorite ways for you to increase your income is by doing side hustles. There are so many side hustles out there that I'll definitely do a separate video on all the different type of side hustles there are. But it doesn't matter if you're doing either one of the gig style side hustles. And what I mean by that is like Instacart, Uber or Lyft, even Uber Eats, DoorDash, Postmates. There's so many out there to choose from. Or if you're using your own skill. A lot of people discount their own skills that people will actually pay for. So if you have a skill that everybody loves, then turn that into your side hustle. I have friends who have started whole businesses because they had a skill and were able to use that to help them pay off debt, and then it rolled into an actual business. So if you're good at cooking, maybe you start a catering business. If you're good at baking, maybe you start your own bakery. If you're good at doing hair, maybe you start doing hair in your home or going to other people's houses to do hair. There's so many things that you can actually do, especially with the holidays coming up, where you're able to make money on the side and use that money to pay towards your debt. So don't discount your skills. And I only named a few different skills, but depending on what you do at your job, maybe you can take that particular skill to parlay into your own side hustle. So do not discount any skill that you have as a way to actually bring in more money. And this one we've heard before. Look around your house. What are the things that you have that you are not using? Sell those items. You're not using them. You're probably not going to use them. There's so many ways that you can sell items and get money for them. And yeah, they're not going to be the same amount of money that you pay for them in the first place, but it is something that you didn't have already that you can throw towards your debt so that you're not still living in that paycheck to paycheck cycle. So in the comments below, let me know one of the things that you're going to implement so that you can pay off your debt. And if this video was helpful for you, please hit the thumbs up button. So let me know that you actually liked the video. And if you're not subscribed already, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and hit that button and join the family. And I will see you next week with a new video. Bye.